Okay, let's see if it needs to back up another video. There you go. So now you can hear me. So let's go over the week. I talk about this kind of stuff because I know that there are other people out there that feel the same way and that they don't have the voice to talk about it. My goal in life, and I was just reading about this in psychology class, but the people that are most humanistic are people that have goals in life that are problem solving and not self-centered solving. I'm problem solving. I want to help you. I want to help other people. That's why I'm getting the degree that I'm getting. That's why I strive for the best that I can. That's why I take mental note of my own mental behaviors. You know, what's normal for me, what's not normal for me. You know, I'm extremely compassionate. I love beyond what love is. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. You know, I live by the saying of love all but trust few. You know, and there's something to that. You know, because you can love an extremely flawed person, but you don't have to trust them. And you don't have to let them into your life. So let's start talking about what happened to me. While I was on Celexa, they upped me from 30 milligrams to 40 milligrams during the winter. I have seasonal affective disorder, which means that a lack of vitamin D can cause my brain to go into deep depression. During the months of the 30 to 40 milligram increase, I gained 30 pounds. Now, I exercise for over an hour a day. I'm a yoga instructor. I love the gym. I haven't been to the gym in forever just because of everything that's been going on in life. But I'm always up on the trapeze every morning. I do sun salutations. And the trapeze, what people don't understand, that is cardiovascular strength. I mean, like, by the end of it, you are sweating. Lots of upper body strength, lots of balance. I mean, it's a really good tool. And if you have a child that has autism spectrum disorder, they love to use it for compression. So if you are a yogi, if you are thinking about getting a trapeze and you have a child with ASD, it is worth the $40. Get one, hang it up. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I'm very short. I'm only 5'3". So, you know, we have to have chains that hang down from my ceiling. My room looks like a dungeon, which is funny to me for reasons that people that know me, but it's hilarious. So backtracking to what happened, Prozac, I started having really bad flashbacks. I mean, it was like constant. People would send me stuff and I would instantly be back in a moment that I didn't want to be back in. And flashback, let's define flashback. You are no longer present in the moment, like right now, how I'm talking to you. I would no longer be talking to you. I would be seeing the face of my sister. I would be seeing the way that my father threw the chair. I would be reliving the emotional abuse that I was put through as a child from a narcissistic mother. I would be reliving that, you know, people knew about this abuse and didn't do anything about it to save me. You know, would I be in the same position if they just followed what was on the discharge paperwork? I don't think so. Because early intervention is the best key to helping people that have depression and have anxiety disorders. So that's a really tough thing for me to accept. So on Tuesday, I started having suicidal ideation, which, if you've ever been suicidal, you tend to kind of always have that ideation, right? I think that people that aren't even suicidal probably have that ideation. I mean, I've talked to people that are nowhere close to what my diagnosis is. And they've thought about, well, God, I just wish this was over. You know, Wednesday, they started turning into plans. I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, I went out to go to the balcony at work. Because my biggest thing is that I didn't want Dan or the boys to find my body. You know, Dan found his father's body, and I didn't want him to see his wife's body. So I was like, well, if I do it at work, you know, that just, Dan doesn't have to deal with it, right? And then I was like, what? You know, that's just ideation, whatever. Well, I try to get out on the balcony. By whatever intervention, I'm not sure if there is a God. If there is one, then, you know, sweet. But by divine intervention or intervention of the cosmos, the door was locked. I couldn't get out. Okay. So then it was time for break. And I went downstairs on my break, and on my break, I always go outside because going outside of that building and getting away from fluorescent lights helps me. I have a monster awake. So I started talking to him. I started telling him, I want you to take the boys out to go to Easter in Quincy. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You know, it'll be fine. Just go. Because I wanted him out of the house so that I could go to a hotel room. I wanted to drink a glass of Moscato. I haven't drank since last May. But I wanted to have a glass of Moscato. I wanted to sit in the hot tub for a while. You know, really get that Moscato going. I wanted to go to my room, order a BLT and probably some delicious, hopefully vegan, chocolate cake, something else, and put a sign on the door saying, do not enter, call the police, there is a suicide inside. I was going to draw a warm bath. I was going to slip my arm open from my wrist to my elbow and be unconscious within 1 to 2 minutes and dead within 10. I made out a will. I made preparations for it. I told Dan, you know, if my family tries to enter into my funeral at all, have security at the door and don't let them in. Because if you're not going to support me in life, you're not going to be there to celebrate my life through my death. There's no way. And he started crying. And what happened with me when he started crying is that I noticed that I didn't care that he was crying. Anybody crying is my kryptonite. Dan crying is the kryptonite of all kryptonites. And that's when I noticed that my behavior was not normal. And it was all because of this medication. It just doesn't work with my brain chemistry. Prozac has dopamine in it. Maybe I already produced dopamine and that was just too much. There are so many things, you know, and it's so experimental. So we decided to go back to the Celexa. And I'm already starting to feel like myself. I've been off of the Prozac now for 5 days. And as you can tell, I'm already more cognizant. I'm not slurring. I was slurring a lot with Prozac. I don't feel as tired. I haven't had a flashback. I haven't had a panic attack. this medication just didn't work for me. It may work for other people, and that's great. The only thing that I want you to do is be cognizant of your behaviors. Who are you? What are you used to? What are the things that you do and don't do? And know when you're crossing that line. Because when you cross that line is when you no longer are yourself. Flashback for me is different. Flashbacks started happening hard after my baby sister that I did give up everything for said, I can no longer talk to you. I hope that our relationship can be rebuilt. Because I was writing about trauma. The no contact with my parents brought up a lot of pain. Because you have to relive that. You have to think about it every day. Why? Everybody acknowledged that it happened, but nobody did anything. They just let it happen. It's hidden abuse. Which there's a book out there that's called Hidden Abuse that I want to read, but my book list right now is so long anyways. I've got so much on my Kindle Fire, and then I'm getting A's in all my classes in college, and I want to keep that up, and I know that if I start reading, that I just get way too into the books. I haven't even started the next Sookie book from True Blood, which is a huge thing. So I just have to talk about that. I have to talk about suicide awareness. Now, the biggest thing that I have to say is you have to be honest. You have to be honest with the crisis team. They're there to help you. You cannot lie to them. I understand the want to lie because you don't want to be in the hospital. I get that. I said I wasn't going to go to the hospital when the crisis team came. Wasn't going to happen. She said, well, I don't feel safe, leaving you here. These are concrete plans. Well, then somebody will stay with me and you guys can lock up the meds. Fine. And so we did 2 check-ins. Everything was fine. I don't have to check in with them again. But they're like, call anytime that you feel this way. If you lie to the crisis team, you're essentially lying to yourself. And if you're lying to yourself, then you're lying about your behavior. Your cognitive processing can be changed. It can be rewired. Now, the data is out, the research, the replication, because when psychologists perform experiments, they have to be replicated through, double-blind experiments, variables, anything like that. So the studies are still out about how we can eliminate PTSD from people, depression from people, any kind of mental affliction from people. In fact, there's something right now that's called resilience or something like that, that my therapist is taking, and she is hoping to share with me, and we'll see what happens. But it's essentially rewiring your brain, which is the same thing as cognitive behavioral therapy to me, but just to a higher extent, because cognitive behavioral therapy is all about changing your brain processing, so you process things in a different way. Which is the only therapy that helps for me. Talk therapy does nothing for me. Because I talk about my problems all the time. And you guys get to listen to them. Aren't you lucky? But, that is my post today. I realize I've been talking for 15 minutes almost. So, just be you. Be cognizant. Know who you are. Know who you aren't. And if you're having suicidal ideations, fucking talk about it. Be honest about it. Because it could be a medication problem. It could be that you're not getting enough exercise. It could be that, there could be a plethora of reasons behind it. Get help. Life is impermanent. Do not make this life shorter than what it already is. Spread love and light. Talk to you later.